Welcome to Uncommon Sense, where we do our best to make it common again. I'm your host, Adrian Ahlquist. Today I'm joined with my dad again, Dale Ahlquist. How are you?
I'm great, Adrian, the better for your asking.
Well, we are going to talk about Advent because we are in the Advent season.
So we should say Happy New Year, shouldn't we?
Happy New Year, because we are done with the year according to the church, maybe not according to the Gregorian calendar, but we just got done with a year, which is probably good because this was an intense year. So we're going to treat it like it's the next year, and this will maybe be a better year.
By starting the new year with the liturgical year, we can get a head start on getting 2020 behind us.
Exactly. So before we start, I have a couple of announcements. One, it's not too late to sign up for the Advent campaign that we are launching. It's if you sign up, you receive an email every day with a fun Chesterton quote or a wholesome Chesterton quote, and a prayer reflection, and other content that we have in that email. And it's a healthy thing to do during Advent in preparation for Christmas. And the second thing is the virtual society meeting. Our virtual society meeting featuring you and Brandon Vaught is happening on December 16th on a Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. And you have to become a member to join us live for that. And it's one of our exclusive member benefits. And it happens 4 times a year, correct?
Yep.
And it's a great time. And Brandon Vaught's great. And you guys have a great rapport. And so I encourage you to sign up for a Gilbert membership at chesterton.org/membership.
At the virtual society meeting next week, we're going to be talking about a great event, which was the release of a new book that the society has been involved with creating, the American translation of Orthodoxy. No controversy there.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very entertaining time and enlightening. And I hope you can join us for that. And once you become a member, we'll send you instructions on how to join that. All right, so let's start. So we have somewhat of a fun thing to do. We have Chesterton quotes that we're going to read that pertain to Advent and Christmas. But yeah, let's you introduce it.
Well, I'll tell you what, what we've asked people to do to sign up for the Advent promotion is you get the daily quote in your email, usually pertaining to Christmas. And the fact is, Chesterton wrote a lot about Christmas. Every time it was that time of year, his essays in whatever journal that he was a contributor to would just be filled with reflections about Christmas. His one complaint, of course, is that he always personally had to celebrate Christmas before Christmas because he had to write all this stuff before the...
like our world right now.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone celebrates Christmas before Christmas. Christmas comes, and then they pack up and put everything away, and that's when the Christmas season truly begins in the Catholic Church. That's the first day of Christmas, and you're supposed to celebrate for 12 days, and everyone else is done, and we're just getting started. We're getting started, yeah.
I mean, Advent, like Lent, is a preparation season. They rhyme, even.
Yeah, they do.
It's easy to remember.
And I try to treat Advent like Lent every year, too. So it's a time of abstinence and extra prayer and extra almsgiving, and it's a great way to prepare for the feast. And that's the thing. It is a feast. Christmas is one of the great feast days of the year. And like all great feast days, it should come after a fast and after a time of abstinence. But what makes Christmas such a great feast day is that it comes in the middle of winter. It's the winter feast. You can see why Chester would like it because it's so paradoxical. And people complain about the Christmas celebration being of pagan origin. And Chester says that's exactly what's so great about it, is that you are sharing something with this really an ancient practice of having a feast in the middle of winter.
Yeah, it's been Christianized for sure.
It's been Christianized, like other pagan things have been Christianized too, like eating. And there's the only thing about paganism is that it ends with Christianity. that's what's so great about it. And so Chesterton, he makes this point. It's this ancient feast. It's pagan and Christian. He says it combines the trinity of eating, drinking, and praying. Isn't that great?
That's good.
And he says, and to moderns that seems irreverent, but what it is, it's a holy day that has been made into a holiday.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Well, I have a quote now that I want to read, and I'm going to start with the funny ones that just I liked a lot. So these kind of go together. Surely nobody could possibly want to hear about Tolstoy on Christmas Day. And then the second one is, how can any man with laughter in his soul talk of Nietzsche just after Christmas? Do you want to give some context to those?
Yeah, as Chesterton, this was published obviously right at Christmas time, and he was making a reference to the fact that here are two major thinkers who have affected modern thought, and what kind of an effect have they had on us? If their ideas conflict with Christmas, it shows that something's wrong with them, right?
Yeah.
And to even talk about Tolstoy with his really grotesque simplicity, really emptying everything of its ultimate meaning, as what happened to him, he just kind of turned to mush after a while. And then Nietzsche with his ideas of moving beyond good and evil and evolving out of our present morality. If those ideas conflict with Christmas, yes, there's something wrong with them. And what could be worse than talking about Tolstoy and Nietzsche on Christmas?
Yeah, nice. Did you want to go now?
Yeah, I'm going to actually expand on what I was talking about before. Okay, the idea of the winter feast.
Oh yes.
Because Chester says it occurs in winter. It has the element not merely of contrast, but actually of antagonism. It preserves everything that was best in the merely primitive or pagan view of such ceremonies, such banquets. If we are carousing, at least we are warriors carousing. We hang above us, as it were, the shields and battle axes with which we must do battle with the giants of snow and hail. All comfort must be based on discomfort. Just a great Chestertonian paradox. The man chooses when he wishes to be most joyful the very moment when the whole material universe is most sad. It is this contradiction and mystical defiance which gives a quality of manliness and reality to the old winter feasts, which is not characteristic of the sunny felicities of earthly paradise.
Cool. That was a meaty one. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Do you want to keep talking about that, or do we want to...
That one is certainly self-explanatory, but again, truly, Christmas comes this year when the whole universe is very sad. Not only...
which might be appropriate for the times we're living in right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is the Feast of Defiance. It's a defiance of winter, but in this year, it's really a defiance of the sadness of the whole world, and the downtroddenness that we all feel with everything having gone wrong this year. Christmas is going to be a special opportunity for tidings of comfort and joy.
Nice. Yeah. I'm trying to find one that ties into that. I think I'm going to go with this one. Men have not got tired of Christianity. They've never found enough Christianity to get tired of.
That's a great line, which is a corollary of the famous line, the Christian ideal has not been tried and found wanting. It's been found difficult and left untried. Mm-hmm. Say it again.
Okay. Men have not got tired of Christianity. They have never found enough Christianity to get tired of.
That's it right there. We are always anticipating Christmas again every year because we always have to be reminded of the same things every year. That's what the greatness of the liturgical calendar is to remind us of the things that we tend to forget and not practice, and we're always trying to renew our joy. It's to tell the world that this is a true message. It is the good news, And yeah, the world hasn't gotten tired of it because there hasn't been enough of it to get tired of.
Yeah, yeah, and we're encountered with people that have heard of Christianity, unlike when the apostles were first evangelizing. Now we live in a world that they think they get Christianity, but unfortunately they only get like the memed version where do you know Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior? That's what they've heard. They're tired of that. But once you dig deeper, you realize they actually don't know much more about Christianity, and they don't know what makes it thrive.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Now, what about the controversies of Christmas? Let's talk about that for just a minute.
Okay.
You've got a good quote about the controversies of Christmas.
Yes, I do. Yeah. So we talk of We talk of Christmas as a kind of peace that reconciles everybody. Yet the two syllables of which Christmas is made are the two words that tear Europe from end to end more fiercely than any others. That's a good one.
That's a good. So yeah, Christmas should be a non-controversial holiday. Of course, it isn't. You can't even say Christmas to people. You can't say Merry Christmas. You have to say Happy Holiday, even though the word holiday refers to holy day.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that Christmas is a controversial word because it's composed of Christ and Mass. Those are two of the most divisive words there is, both between Christianity and the rest of the world, and within Christianity, with the Protestant rebellion. The Mass is the center of controversy there, and Christ is the center of controversy, who really sets himself apart from every other religion and every other creed. And yet, that's our happy celebration.
Yeah, I have another quote that kind of ties into this discussion of Christianity. But I think this quote: "The phenomenon does not prove religion, but religion explains the phenomenon." I assume he's talking about Christmas, but he could talk about Christianity in general.
Yeah.
That could apply to that. And I think that's a good quote too, because Chesterton emphasized that when we're talking about faith and reason, faith kind of needs to supersede, precede reason. It's not that faith is unreasonable; it actually sets the foundation for all of your reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it explains the phenomenon. It doesn't.
Exactly.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
Great line. Another idea about the controversy of Christmas. People always complain about the materialism, the commercialism connected with Christmas, and that was no different in Chesterton's own time. And his great friend and philosophical opponent George Bernard Shaw said that Christmas Day is only a conspiracy kept up by poulterers and wine merchants for strictly business motives. Chesterton says that's the same as saying that the two sexes were invented by jewelers who only wanted to sell wedding rings.
Nice.
So, I mean, he gets it. Obviously, the great celebration, well, it calls for people to get gifts, just like you get a gift for your fiancé. Yeah, right. Yeah. You give her something very precious. You give the people you love gifts, and you celebrate. You celebrate with wine and poultry.
Yeah. And I have another quote that maybe gives a glimmer of hope, even though Christmas is divisive, as we just found. It can be divisive. So the great majority will go on observing Christmas Day with Christmas gifts and Christmas benedictions. They will continue to do it, and someday they suddenly will wake up and discover why. So that's kind of cool.
Exactly. If you celebrate Christmas enough, you may find out what it means at a certain point. Yes, just like that famous character who was always avoiding Christmas and then finally woke up one day and realized what it meant. Scrooge. Yeah, we all get that. That's just amazing. The great story of conversion. I think the one other interesting controversy around Christmas that shouldn't be a controversy but is "Round yon virgin," the line from Silent Night. Round yon virgin, mother and child. Right? It should seem everyone understands that Christmas is about a mother and her child, Mary and Jesus, and yet that has been, for reasons that Chesterton can simply not understand, one of the great controversies of Christendom in the division within Christianity is the respect that is paid to the Blessed Virgin. And ironically, I grew up as a Protestant. We had sort of a hands-off version towards the Virgin Mary, but even at Christmas, we had our creche, we had our nativity set, even though we were against images, and we all understood that it's Mary, Joseph, and the child Jesus form something central that we all understood. But Chesterton nails it when he says, here again is that element of controversy that somehow has broken people apart rather than bringing them together.
Cool. Yeah. I never experienced that because I was raised Catholic.
That was when we became Catholic, when you were born.
That's right, yeah. Fun fact. Well, do you have any other quotes at this moment? I have one that I want to hit, which is, again, a funny one.
Do your funny one.
Okay.
I've got two more that could wrap it up here.
Okay.
All right.
This one might need some explaining because I'm not sure how it directly connects to Christmas. So let me read it. I am sure that an angel, on entering the private apartment of another angel, would take off his halo. I like that quote. What's that connection to Christmas per se?
Well, Christmas is associated with angels, right? You've got the angels
Hark the herald angels sing. Yeah.
You hark the herald angels sing. The angels appearing, of course, to the shepherds. The angel, of course, 9 months earlier appearing to Mary at the Annunciation. But angels are on, every other Christmas card has angels on it. So we clearly associate.
That's valid.
Yeah, that's the association. Now, the funny line about that is he has these angels being polite to one another. It's a hilarious image.
I like that. Yeah, for sure.
It's just great image.
Yeah. But going back, what did you want to hit now?
Two things. The controversy. We were finishing up the aspect of the controversy of Christmas. Chesterton says that everything that is really lovable can be hated. Everything that is lovable can be hated. There are undoubtedly people who hate Christmas. To us, it is astonishing anyone would hate Christmas, but yet people do. They do. And that's because of the paradox, the irony, and the strange contradiction that people will hate what is lovable. They've done it with babies, which is why abortion is legal, and they've done it with Christmas, which is why Christmas has been stomped on and ignored and attempted to be brushed aside, even while we take advantage of it and live off its capital. One of the things that was brought out to me just at the first Sunday of Advent was the idea that many of our Protestant friends have been obsessed throughout their history with the second coming and with the end of the world. And there's no question that right now a lot of people are talking about the end of the world again as yes. Everything seems to be falling apart. And usually it's when everything is falling apart that's not the end of the world. But the Catholics have not been traditionally as obsessed with that that end of the world prophecy of it's going to happen now, it's going to happen this, because every year, as part of the liturgical year, we are preparing for Christ to come, which is what we do during Advent. We are preparing for Christ to come, and He does come. Every year He does come. We celebrate Christmas, and we celebrate once again that Christ has come, and we get through the liturgical year, and we get to the celebrating that Christ is King at the end of the liturgical year. But in the meantime, and Chesterton makes this point in a wonderful and unexpected article written of all things for Good Housekeeping magazine. The article was, "If Christ Should Come." And he says, what would happen if Christ came today? And Chesterton makes the great point, Christ has come, Christ is here, and He's alive on 1,000 altars right now. That's a very profound idea.
Nice.
We're preparing for Christ to come, but Christ is come. He's alive on 1,000 altars. Advent is to prepare our hearts for the coming of Christ, but let's not forget we have the privilege of having Christ among us.
And and that's why we, at the end of the liturgical year, we read from Revelations, and we're reminded every single time that no man knows the time nor the place that it'll happen, right?
We are reminded of that over and over again, and yet there's people say, well, it's going to happen on this date.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And related to people hating Christmas, this one is pretty apropos. Normal people enjoy special occasions without knowing why, just as the learned, lofty, cultivated, enlightened people despise them without knowing why.
That's exactly it. People will celebrate Christmas without knowing why, and they'll hate Christmas without knowing why. We have the great blessing in the church of celebrating what we know, and we know why it's important. And so we are preparing our hearts. And we want to thank you for supporting the Chesterton Society. Make the announcement one more time, yes, Adrian.
Thank you. Thank you for all of your support and for watching this podcast. Again, you can sign up for the Advent campaign. If you go to chesterton.org, there'll be an option to sign up, and you'll receive an email every day. It's a good way to start your day with a good Chesterton quote and a prayer reflection. And the second thing is be sure to, sign up to become a member, because you can be a part live of this virtual society meeting between Dale Ahlquist and Brandon Vaught. And they have a great rapport, right? And they're going to be announcing and talking about this new book that we are publishing, Orthodoxy, the American Translation, which will be great because it's for Americans, right?
Ridiculously exciting.
Yeah. Well, Thank you for being with us again, Dale. Oh, by the way, one more thing. Next week, we have an exciting podcast episode. And I won't say what it is, but we have a new term for distributism. Yes, and that's what we're going to be talking about. If you are a member, you also receive a Gilbert magazine, and that's the whole theme of the next magazine, and with great articles talking about distributism and our new name for it. So that's what we're going to be talking about next time. So please join us for that. All right. Thank you, everyone. And in the meantime, help us to make uncommon sense more common.